Hi, the weather here is great. The breeze from the Atlantic Ocean is refreshing. Scenery, breathtaking. And it's that time again for Route 10, the show that gives you more information about your country Barbados through the parish of St. Philip. I am Darren.
And I am Vanessa. St. Philip has a lot of hidden treasures. One such spot, Gemswick, formerly known as Penny Hole.
We're right next to the Atlantic Ocean. Now at night, vessels fought through the choppy waters and they needed something to guide them ashore to avoid the jagged rocks. Can you guess what that thing was? If you guessed the East Point Lighthouse or Ragged Point Lighthouse, you would be correct. Though it's not just tall, there's so much more history in this lighthouse. Who best to describe it for you other than the St. Philip guru himself? He wrote the St. Philip book. G. Addinton Forde.
Barbados has 4 lighthouses. One in Christchurch, one in St. Lucie, and one at Addinton Point. And one of them is in St. Philip. It was constructed in 1875. It was the third of the Barbados lighthouse. The first was in South Point in 1852. That was entirely abandoned. They only have 2 of those left in the world. Needham's, where the Hilton is, in 1855. And Harrison Point in St. Lucie in 1925. This is the tallest of the lighthouses. It's 97 feet tall. This was in the days when there was no radar or anything, so all around here is danger for shipping. So if the lighthouses had a flash and the flash would tell the mariners something about the conditions. But the lighthouse warned people, the ships, not to come too close. That's just the purpose of them. When we go beyond the lighthouse, you can see a whole side of the east of St. Philip. Beautiful shot, so we can imagine what it will look like 90 feet up in the air. So we want to beg whoever can do something about it. Let us restore the lighthouse and make it an attraction so that people like me could go up there.
We truly hope this plea does not fall on deaf ears. To find out more about the parish of St. Philip, buy the St. Philip book. And if you want to see it for yourself, be sure to book your seat on the Route 10 Scenic Bus Tour.
More on Route 10.
I wanted nothing to do with music.
The shortest marriage that ever occurred must have happened right here in Barbados sometime during the 1950s.
Proud and Philippine, they usually go together. Today we meet Hashim Durrant, a talented young man.
I live in Forde, St. Philip, Sunny Meadows to be exact. I've lived here about 3 going 4 years now. Haven't always lived here though. We used to live in Castle Heights for a while. When I was 12, I was just finishing up first form, going into second form. I actually was looking to become a cadet because the cool uniform and all of that. And my maths teacher looked at me. She was also my form teacher. She looked at me and she said, "No, you gotta do steel pan." I was like, "But I want to be a cadet." I wanted nothing to do with music. So, against my will, I was forced to do steel pan. Now I'm here today, even though I would never regret my choices. Yeah. My father was a contractor, and I always told myself I'll be following in his footsteps. But it's just something that was never really in the household. Like a musician, like it just never really came up. Got to secondary school to the orchestra at the time, yeah, when they first started. When I joined the orchestra, the orchestra lead at the time, who was a guy by the name of Mr. Hurdle, he looked at me, he said, "Well, we just got assigned to a pan." So he said, "Hashim Durrant tenor." So I went to the tenor pan. And basically that's how it was. After I went to the pan, they wrote some notes on the board. Because the people in the orchestra before were playing for a while, it was me and like 3 other people. So we were the only new members at the time. So when I went, they started playing the tune and I had the notes on the board. So I followed the notes because the pan was marked. Like every single note on the pan was marked. I followed the notes and just went with it. And then I quickly started to grow to love the instrument and the music. I started learning music, but then to be honest, most of the people in the orchestra didn't really know music. We just played notes. We just played what we saw there, and then we had fun doing it. But it always helped when you knew music. Up until the very end of my secondary school years, I was still determined I was going to be a contractor. But I always loved music. Well, from joining the orchestra, I love music. So why not do something that makes you happy in life? So I stayed with it. I know quite a few musicians who make a pretty good living from music. And it keeps you motivated to work and go to different heights. Yeah. So I really think I can make a living doing music, and I can always work for it because this is something I love doing, something I will never give up on. I haven't had the opportunity to travel yet, but right now I'm currently playing with the 1688 Orchestra. They do a lot of touring and that sort of stuff, so maybe one of these days I will have the opportunity. It's a large collective of musicians brought together by Dr. Stefan Walcott. Basically, it opens the door for musicians and graduates of the music program after they leave school to continue playing. I did the Barbados Community College music program, and I recently just finished. I'm 18. At 25, hopefully on my way to being one of the great musicians. Touring, playing everywhere, mainly touring. To be honest, I'm not a very big speaker. I'm not a very good public speaker. But when I play, I feel a little more free. And I guess it's a way that I get my message across. First, I like to show people that I am happy when I do music. And I like to make people happy when I play. So when I realize that you're happy, I kind of feel accomplished. My name is Hashim Durrant, and I'm a Filipino.
Sweet, sweet music from Hashim Durrant. Stay with 10.
The shortest marriage that ever occurred must have happened right here in Barbados sometime during the 1950s.
We have ribs and pigtails on this grill. This is the pork grill.
I wonder what Scrappy has in store for us this week. Will it be funny?
I hope so.
Would it be something that make you go, Let's hear what our resident storyteller Scrappy has for us this week.
These are true stories about ordinary and not so ordinary St. Philip folk, and all of these stories happened in the parish of St. Philip.
The shortest marriage that ever occurred must have happened right here in Barbados sometime during the 1950s. This was not one of those marriages of convenience. No. It's not one of them marriages where, for example, an immigrant marries a citizen in order to obtain legal status. This was a real, true marriage. The bride had been living in Vineyard in St. Philip with her mother, while the groom resided with his aunt in St. Catherine's, also in St. Philip. Wedding bells rang one Saturday afternoon around 4 o'clock at St. Mark's Church. This is a little Anglican church situated on a cliff in St. John, overlooking the rugged Atlantic coastline. After the couple had solemnly promised to love and hold in sickness or health, good and bad until death should part them, and were duly pronounced man and wife, they came to the door of the church to settle a yet unresolved problem Where was the reception of this wedding to be held? The groom, he wanted it to be held at his aunt's house in St. Catherine's. And she, the bride, wanted it to be held at her mother's house in Vineyard. The discussion turned into an argument and tempers flared and voices were raised in the first and last argument of this marriage. Eventually the problem was solved. The bride and her party went to Vineyard for their reception. The bridegroom took his party to his aunt's in St. Catherine. But the bride and groom, they have never ever lived together as man and wife.
Yet another amazing story from Scrappy. No, that's not a good way to end a wedding, Vanessa.
No, it really isn't.
No. If it was me, I would have met halfway and held a reception by 3 houses apart.
I agree with you. You know, having two large families coming together at that particular location, I can see them getting to know each other and just, you know, bestowing blessings and allowing love and peace to just reign in that union. Another peaceful location is a sanctuary located in Harrismith.
I believe it's called Marizaryas Sanctuary.
My name is Greta Ennis. I live in St. Philip about part of the time. I leave St. Philip in 62 and I come back in 72. But different than that, I born and raised right here on this same spot, Harrismith Road, St. Philip. From the time I had my first son, which would be in 74, they always wanted something that they could grow up with. And I started with Barbados, and then I started with fowls, and then I had pigeons, and then I went on to rabbits and everything. Whenever they go out and they find something, they bring it home. It's theirs. But then they look after it for a day or two, and then mommy had to look after everything. And then I had a lot of ducks, geese, turkey, rabbits, fowls, pheasant. One thing they had then was snakes and iguana. But I had just about everything. And I never know what a price of an egg is at a supermarket. I never know the price of chicken at a supermarket. I eat everything that I grow in here. So it started from way back then till the dogs wake me out. The dogs wake me out, the first was in 98. And I was on jury then. And I got up early in the morning. And I see this white swing across the path. So what the price is? I had a big piece and he used to meet you. Obviously the things open up and beat down. That morning, everything out here was at a standstill. Quiet. Come out and I see the white things all over the place. I investigate all my ducks, geese, turkey, everything that was going on. The dogs just wiped me out, leave me with one goose standing. That tear me up. Back in 2010, I went away. When I come back, my son had everything gone. Everything they gone. So I stopped then, and I start back now, last year. Somebody went here and see what we have done, and they like it, and then the word starts spreading, and people like won't leave on the island, they have these things and don't want them. They bring them, some of them donate, most of them are donating. We don't charge a fees for coming, we do it on a monetary donation. You give what you can afford. other places you live in the district and you don't even know your neighbor. For years you living in the district and you don't know your neighbor, your neighbor don't know you. That is something I would like to change. I like to go back to that. I would like to go back to that. And the giving part, you have a mango tree and I don't have none. And you rather them drop on the ground and don't pick them up. And you don't say, well, here, have some mangoes, or come and get some mangoes. You don't get that anymore. But we still have it here. That's something I could be grateful for. We live as one in this district here. We look out for one another. You will pass here and my house is shut up, but you think somebody in the other house shut up. You think that somebody ain't seeing you, but you're always being watched here.
Such a peaceful and relaxing place. Talk about the birds, the fish, and the turtles. But you know what? I am going to leave you here to speak to Mr. Waterman, the owner of this hidden treasure.
Hi, Mr. Waterman, and thank you for allowing us to be here at this hidden treasure of St. Philip.
Right, it's a pleasure.
Now, we know a little about you. You moved from St. Michael. Can you tell us how you found the property, more history about the property?
But first, the truth is, I worked at the HARP Project, and we would normally have to erect markers along the area when they were doing shots. So this was one of the spots that we came and parked in the Jeep after we then and we're watching people operate in the sea, harvesting sea eggs and whatnot. And as actually thought it was a beautiful area if one had the opportunity to live there. But I never imagined that they would ever have had that opportunity.
Earlier, you were speaking of the HARP Project. So you're saying this property was located close to where the HARP Project started?
Yes, yes. The gun actually passed along the road here that's about 75 or so meters from where we are standing. This road you see along here, the gun passed along there, was brought along there on a train track. It was a mile of train track they had at the time in 1962. As a matter of fact, I visited here as a person just interested in seeing this thing as a youngster, not knowing that I would eventually get a job later on at the HARP Project. And I thought that this was a very beautiful place, but it was more or less in the backwater of everything else that was going on in St. Philip. People who were living here had eventually moved to the road side when the road was built.
Have there been any events here, weddings?
Well, not on a basis of renting or anything like that or taking a fee for it. But the truth has been, both my two sons, they were married here, beautiful weddings and a godson. You know, I mean, it was a beautiful weddings they had here. You know, well attended, numbers of people, and everybody was more or less enthralled by what they saw. You know, and it was just to me a very simple matter, you know, of trying to have the place laid out in a way that, you know, people would want to, could enjoy themselves and saying, because it's a kind of rugged beauty, so to speak.
Well, thank you, Mr. Waterman. Thank you for inviting us here. It's been here a lot longer than he has. He's been here from 1980, one of the hidden treasures in St. Philip. No, another hidden treasure, or should I say a hidden taste. We in St. Philip do it differently when we grill. Coming next, Kim.
I used to work with a lady before, and I just branched off on my own. I had signed up for home economics at school, but they put me to do needlecraft. And after I finished school, I went on to, I tried my hands at different things, and they never worked out. I worked in a restaurant for a little bit. I did babysitting. I did data entry, and I came right back to food. So that's what I've been doing. I tried crop over. I did a couple events back then in the years gone by. But basically, I'm now set up right here. That's it. We have ribs and pigtails on this grill. This is the pork grill. Then we have chicken or burgers. And then the next grill is fish. And the fryer has the fries. You get served with chips and salad. Or you can get it plain, or you can get the meats with just salad. My barbecue sauce, people say it's special, but I can't tell you the ingredients because it's a secret. And then we have tartar sauce I serve with the fish. That's basically it. I plan to raise my own chickens. So they will be born right in St. Philip and produced in St. Philip. I have some people come from St. Lucie, then there's some from St. James, St. Thomas, but Majority of my customers are St. Philip people, Philippines, as you say, Christchurch, St. John, all over Barbados. As long as the Friday's a bank holiday, we open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Otherwise, we are only open on Fridays and Saturdays. We start on evenings about 5:36, and we finish around 12:01. Right now, St. Rose is developing into a town, and just know we can have our own terminal, because we have one in St. Peter, we have one in Bridgetown, we need one up this side. So hopefully by the time I reach like 50, 60 and I'm still alive, we will see that happening up here. People are very friendly, very quiet. We have our own accent, as people say. I don't know, it just feels different to any other area you go in Barbados. We have the best people, the best food, we have the best of everything. This is an island all by itself. It's true. Come over and join Kim's Grill, have a sumptuous meal, enjoy the ribs, the pigtails, and anything else you want to have.
And that's just one of the many places in St. Philip you can get tasty food on a weekend. Well, we've come to the end of our show. Here's a sneak peek of more to come on Route 10.
We were the first ones in Barbados to offer steaming inside the vehicle.
Well, I would say from primary school, I probably would have been one of the, I guess you'll say one faster boys at that stage.
In those days when things were not plentiful and money scarce and food existed at various houses, the boys were more intent on getting to play and figure out who done cook.
Like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, and view this show on our YouTube channel. Goodbye.
See you next week.